Hi, Bill has created this amazing cookbook that is now free on our website. All you have to do is go on there and then what?
Click on the button, free cookbook.
Yeah, tell them about it.
Yeah, so this came about a couple of years ago, actually. Connie and I were contributing to what they call a healthy, what was a vegan bundle. So a bundle where a lot of us whole food plant-based people um, put together different contributions. Connie put together a video series. I did this little cookbook. Chef AJ did a recipe book. Well, I think there were like 50 different contributors. And so um, we put all these things together in a bundle and let people know about it. And they could buy the whole bundle, which I think had like, everybody bought everything for its value. It was like $5,000 value for $49. So anyway, it was a fun little project that we did. And I have always been, as you know, loving creating new recipes that keep moving more and more towards the whole food spectrum of food preparation. So, just by way of context, um, there's a whole food plant-based movement's been around for quite a while. But still, a lot of recipes, if you look up whole food plant-based, they use processed foods in them. Processed foods like flour, maple syrup. Um, what else is there? Things like that. And so, as I keep creating new recipes, Connie and I, as we progress on our health journey, our growth toward better health and feeling better and moving better and staying healthy. Um, we find the more we move toward whole food ingredients, the better we feel.
True.
So, this all started years ago. When I first met Connie, 1988, I had been vegetarian for like 16 years. But way back then, there wasn't much vegetarian fare available if you didn't make it yourself. So I was busy working, teaching transcendental meditation, doing those kinds of things. And so I didn't take time to make my own food. So it would end up like a blizzard at the Dairy Queen, didn't have any meat in it. That qualified as a vegetarian meal to me.
Wow.
And of course, I was young and vital and real healthy at the time. So my body was able to deal with that. And because it didn't create any symptoms, I didn't think there was anything lacking. So I meet Connie, 16 years later, and I've got all this pain in my body, this arthritic pain, this inflammation. And I just thought there was something wrong with my body. I didn't think there was anything wrong with my diet. Because I was seeing, medical professionals. I had a regular MD. I was seeing an Ayurvedic MD. I was seeing a chiropractor because I was playing volleyball competitively and my shoulder was killing me. And I was seeing a chiropractor,
Physio?
physiotherapist, yeah,
Yeah.
all these professionals. And I had the good sense to ask, is there something different I should eat that would help this condition? And all of them, this is the 80s, remember, all of them said, no, this has nothing to do with diet. This is inflammation. We'll give you exercises, this and that. And I see Connie, she sees what I'm going through, and she says, well, look how much dairy you're eating. What if you cut out the dairy? I was lacto-vegetarian. We're talking pizzas, lots of dairy, lots of processed flour, and cream cheese and cheesecakes, one of my favorites. I mean, lots of dairy. And I didn't see any connection there, but she saw a connection because she had been whole food plant-based, no processed foods, no dairy for a number of years and saw the difference that it made in her life and the people
Yeah.
around her who also did that. And so she just suggested, what if you drop the dairy? And as you've heard me tell the story before, to my good fortune, she said, and I will cook for you for 2 weeks because I had no clue what to do without dairy. And I can't say I loved eating kale for breakfast, but I did it to try it. And I'll be darned if in a week, like 40%, maybe more of the pain was gone. And I thought, how can this be? But anyway, it was the truth. So I stayed with it and it kept getting better and better. And so that started my journey. She had been on it for a couple of years. And we continue to find ways to refine our food intake to help us feel better. Our motto has always been listen to your body. It's great to hear all the different YouTubes and doctors doing videos on what to eat to be healthy, but you can find somebody who says anything. You get the whole spectrum out there. So what we say is listen to your body. If you resonate with something somebody says, give it a try and see how it works in your body.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
go,
amazing.
oh, this professional, this authority says this is how it is, and there's scientific research that says this is how it is, so this is what I'm going to do. And so you're eating from up here instead of eating from down here, where your body's saying, maybe this isn't working, because that's was my experience. 16
Yeah,
years, it wasn't working, but it's like, oh, the problem is the meat, so I'm doing fine. And all the authorities, the professionals were saying it has nothing to do with diet. No, they just didn't know yet, but my body knew right away. So listen to your body. So that's what has kind of generated this cookbook, this book of recipes, is that I wanted to share what I've been discovering on how we can put really tasty recipes together that use whole food ingredients, that don't use the processed food. Because, in the spectrum of plant-based eating, from vegetarian, which doesn't eat any meat, to vegan that eliminates all animal products, meaning, vegetarians will still eat dairy and eggs, and even some call themselves vegetarian who eat fish, pescatarians, I guess. So it starts at one end of the spectrum and it moves along, and then you get to vegan. So then you drop the eggs and the honey and the dairy and any animal produced food. And then you get to whole food plant-based, because you can be vegetarian or vegan and, like I was doing, consider a blizzard of vegetarian, a healthy food, but it's very processed, and that processing influences the nutritional value. So what we're always looking for is high nutrient density in what we put in our mouths, not just leave out the meat, leave out
yeah,
the animal products.
yeah,
High nutrient density. And the highest nutrient density is in the whole food form. As soon as you start to process that food, grind it into flour, um, reduce it down into maple syrup, um, grind it into a nut butter, extract the oil from the olive or the avocado, whatever it's coming from. Whenever you start to process it, you're leaving some of the nutrient density behind. Because if you take the fiber out of rice, for example, to make white rice out of brown rice, you take the fiber out. Well, fiber is a very important nutrient for our microbiome, and we're seeing that more and more. Also, when you break the whole food form, often that whole food form is protecting those nutrients from oxidation, from being exposed to the air, so they don't oxidize and they stay really active. So when we eat them, they're in their full potency. If you grind grain into flour, you break that down, a lot of the nutrients, they start to oxidize and they lose their value. So the closer we are to the whole food, unprocessed food, the higher the nutrient density.
for sure.
And that's what Connie and I keep finding. The more we go to the whole food form, subtle, but the better we feel.
Yeah, and we've dropped oil, salt. We weren't doing sugar anyway, but that's called SOS-free. And that is a whole different world. So great for the arteries and for any heart conditions. And taste, wow, it takes a while to acclimate to no salt, no oil, but it is so worth it. Our food is heaven now.
Well, we think it's heaven. It's certainly heaven to us. And we've talked about it before, but Connor's referring to the fact that when you drop particularly, salt, oil, and sugar, all of those things are quite intense. And so our bodies adjust to the intensity because so many recipes add extra salt, oil, and sugar to what is found in the natural form of the food. And that then spikes the taste buds, the dopamine, our whole experience of the food. So our bodies regulate to deal with those higher levels of salt, oil, and sugar. So when we eliminate putting them into recipes or adding them at the table, like sprinkling salt on a potato or something, our taste buds start to change.
Yeah.
Our dopamine cycle starts to re-regulate so that it doesn't take as much sugar or natural sugar even to really taste sweet. So our taste changes and we start tasting things we never tasted before. It's almost like the salt, oil, and sugar, they mask
for sure.
tastes that were there that we didn't know were there. So when Connie says it's heaven, it's almost like we have a new palette of tastes available to us.
Well said.
So that's the other thing about the cookbook is that they're whole foods, so no processed foods. There's a couple of exceptions on some of the recipes for the desserts. I'll use rolled oats, so that's a slightly processed oat, and tortillas, which are processed grain as well, but not real highly processed.
So give them an idea of what's in there.
There's a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, it's got soups and salads. It's got sauces and dressings. It has the burgers and tacos, Mexican stuff. And of course, I don't know, maybe half of it is desserts. That's my thing. I, according to Ayurveda, I'm Vata, and one of the tastes that helps to keep Vata in balance, keep everything working well and balanced inside, is the sweet taste. So I, in the past, really went for the high sugar stuff, but that has really dialed down. But I still like a sweet taste. And to explain that a little more, a sweet taste is like a sweet potato. It doesn't mean you have to have a lot of sugar to satisfy a sweet taste. Grains are considered a sweet taste in the Ayurvedic categorizing
Beets,
of food.
carrots,
Beets, carrots, all those are sweet tastes. So I tend to
corn.
move toward sweet tastes naturally by listening to my body because those tastes are what produce the greatest balance in my body. So I'm going to feel the most stable and even. So again, listen to your body. But it's nice to have these kinds of pieces of information that can kind of guide us to the different things to try in order to find what really our bodies respond to best.
And how do they get the book again?
Yeah, just go to the website. We'll put the link in the blog. Well, you're on the on the website if you're watching this blog, and you'll see up in the top right corner, free cookbook. Just click that button, and it'll take you to how you can download it.
Now recipe?
Why not?
Yeah, we did a lovely Thai dish. It's bok choy, broccoli, sprouts, stir fry with lots of shiitake mushrooms, or you could just use regular mushrooms. And we served it over rice. It's really good. Hearty, yummy.
Yeah, and not as hearty as, we're moving out of summer. It's springtime here, so it's really nice because the bok choy is a little lighter, and the shiitake mushrooms, so it isn't as heavy as some of our other dishes. It has a lightness about it, and Connie, after we ate it over the rice, was thinking, this could be good over ramen noodles, keeping
Yeah.
it even lighter too.
Yeah.
So if you're moving into springtime or summer and want something that's a little lighter of a stir fry, that's a nice way to lighten it up too.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Bye.